Oh, he's going to do before that?
Yeah, what they're doing is basically the committee of the whole. So we're going to do.
Feeling ready?
Police
Do you have a spare or a pencil, anything?
executive session.
Out of ink.
Have we got our camera set up? All right, we're going to call to order the regular city council meeting of February 16th, 2026 at 6:15 PM. Can we call the roll, please?
Hugie,
Here.
Kurt,
Present.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Bartsey,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, we have an introduction of some new Maumee police officers. Haley, Sydney, Olivia, and Evelyn. And there's a bonus officer.
A newish one that didn't get introduced
All right, let's get an
18 months ago
introduction.
or whatever. All right, Mayor and members of council, I'd like to introduce, of course, their backs are to you now, but whatever, you're fine.
There they are.
Our newest officers to the department. Luke over here on the end started, 18 months-ish ago, something like that, and evidently we missed him in the rounds with everything going on, so we figured we'd bring him in, but he's already on his own doing a phenomenal job. But just to sort of go over the process, what it takes to get the officers where they are, it's about a 15-month time frame to hire and train before they're actually out on their own. So for the four, we did civil service back in March of 25 is when this all started. We did interviews the week of April 14th, did backgrounds that began in April, and that goes all the way through June of 25 for us to go through and meet with their neighbors, employers, all that type of fun stuff. And then we have more interviews, medical and psychological exams, pre-academy physical fitness. Then the academy started around August. 2 of them went to Owens, 2 of them went to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Basic Academy. So they're on a little bit of different schedule because Owens partners with UT, so they got to squeeze it in a semester, so they go a little bit longer hours. So they graduated December, January. Then they have to go through and take the state exam, which study for, get a date. And then finally, they get to come in and they start their pre-training before we even put them in the training, which takes about 3 weeks to get all their equipment around. You can ask them how many times they've rechanged their belts, their vest. Every time they put something on, it doesn't work there, and then they got to move it around. As you can see, we carry a ton of stuff on there. So then they start their field training program where they're with their field training officers for another 20 weeks. So we're looking, this started back in March of last year. By the end of the summer, they will finally be on their own, and they'll be excited to get somebody's been looking over their shoulder for the last year to have those people no longer judging them every minute of the day, which would be a good thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start first with Luke over here. So a couple of them have taken different paths. They weren't doing criminal justice. Luke started out in the private sector working on sales and marketing and other fun stuff. And then he decided it'd be way more fun to come and be a police officer. But he has his bachelor's degree from Bowling Green State University. And like I said, he didn't do the criminal justice route, but we're absolutely happy to have him. And we find that people that have experiences outside of criminal justice bring a lot with it as well. And he's probably one of the happiest, friendliest people we have. We get nothing but compliments from all the citizens on him, so we're extremely excited to have him here. And Luke, who do you have here with you today?
I have my wife.
So we're excited to have you here, Luke. And then next, we're going to start with Haley Fury, which is over here.
Hello.
So Haley's another one that did not start in criminal justice. She got her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Lourdes College, and for about the last 8 years was a hospice nurse here and sort of took a little different path and came to law enforcement. We're excited to have her. Her family lives here in Maumee, and she is a Owens Police Academy graduate, and she wrapped it up in December of 25. And Haley, did you bring, I think I saw your family. And next we have Sydney. Sydney's going to be all the way over here on your right. Sydney got her bachelor's from the University of Toledo. She was also a member of the ROTC program at UT while she was there. She graduated from Owens Police Academy December of 25 as well. And she sort of had a busy weekend. That weekend she graduated academy, graduated from college, and was also commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Ohio Army National Guard. So it was a busy weekend. She's got a lot going on, so we're proud to have her as well. And Sydney, who did you bring with you? That's good. All right, and then next, Olivia. Olivia's second from the right here. So Olivia, we got to know her as an intern here. She was an intern with her time at Bowling Green State University with us. She's also grew up here, graduated of Maumee schools. She's got her bachelor's degree from criminal justice as well. And she had the pleasure of going to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Basic Police Academy. And why I say that, it's a little bit different because you go down on Monday morning and you do not leave until Friday. You don't get your cell phones, but what is it, like 30 minutes in the evening? If the group doesn't do well that day, there's no cell phones, so they really, a lot of teamwork as well down there. Both academies do the teamwork, but it's a little bit different down there because at least Owens, you get to go home at night, so that makes a big difference. So she graduated in January, and she's still in her sort of pre-FTO stuff that we're doing here between firearms and all of that other stuff and getting equipment on. And I know she's moved her vest around probably at least a half a dozen times that I've seen, and it'll probably still, the minute you put something on and you go to shoot and then you realize that you can't pull your gun out, you can't do this, so. And then in the middle of all of it, we give them all new guns and all new holsters, so everything they just learned for the last 6 months has changed, so. But they all did phenomenal with it. And Olivia, who do you have here tonight? And our last new officer, Evelyn Butler. Evelyn has got her bachelor's degree from Bowling Green State University and was working on her master's degree when she was hired here, so that took a pause for a minute because she had to go to the academy as well. Evelyn went down to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Basic Police Academy with Olivia. So once again, that was quite an endeavor down there because it is a huge commitment to go down. Both academies are phenomenal, but there's definitely a difference when you have to live down there with the troopers. And Evelyn, who did you bring with you today? All right. That's all I have on their backgrounds, and I know they're probably tired of staring at you guys up there, so they want to step on down. But we appreciate the support from council and the mayor. It's allowing us to hire and keep moving forward, but it is a huge process for us to get where we are today. And they're still only about halfway through their training, so they still got, other than Luke. Luke's got it figured out. He's doing well. All right, welcome. Any of you want to give speeches or anything? I'm guessing not.
You can.
I mean, this
won't
is your
tell you.
time. I'll give you the mic. All right, well, if you want to follow Assistant Chief, he'll guide you all out of here because you guys probably don't want to stay for the rest of this meeting because they don't get any better than this.
That's just rude. Thank you and congratulations. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation from Jeff Tyson from the Great Lakes Fishery Commission on the Maumee River project. I don't know if you've seen all the work that's being done, but it's pretty cool, and we wanted to hear about it. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Mayor and members of council, for opening up the agenda for a bit of an update. This project has been sort of rolling along for a number of years, and I think we're sort of getting to a point where I think we've got some significant progress, so I think it's great that you're willing to listen to an update on it. Just a little background on myself. I'm Jeff Tyson with the Great Lakes Fishery Commission. And the background on the Fishery Commission is essentially why I'm involved here is the Fishery Commission itself was established back in 1955 by the Treaty on Great Lakes Fisheries. Both U.S. and Canada are parties to the agreement and the treaty, but there's three primary duties. We've got a duty associated with coordinating fishery research, a duty associated with killing lamprey, and then a duty associated with coordinating fisheries management. We work with the states, tribes, province, federal agencies around the basin to sort of facilitate coordinated fisheries and habitat management. So that's why I'm involved, is I work sort of on the habitat side to identify projects that are important to the fishery management agencies to enhance fisheries in the Great Lakes. Really going way, way back into history here, the project inception really came about back in late 2020, early 2021, when actually one of the ODNR folks reached out to the city of Maumee about some potential opportunities in the city of Maumee to enhance fishery production, because there's a really significant walleye, white bass, potentially lake sturgeon spawning region right outside the city. So there was a huge opportunity, I think, to sort of enhance some of the productive capacity for those fish and fisheries. And then so initial discussions kind of led to sort of development of a project team that included folks from the city of Maumee, been working with Matt and Rick and Margot from the inception, Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Steve Lee with the Maumee City schools as well, and then we kind of stepped in to sort of facilitate the discussions. Early phases were essentially to figure out what we needed to do, and this shows how long ago it was when we started. This is the initial project team picture, and everybody's wearing COVID masks, so it's been a while, but we actually pursued developing a feasibility study, which is understanding what could be done out in the system and where, and whether it was feasible or not, through the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Great Lakes Fishery and Ecosystem Restoration Program. That's a great program. We started out with kind of the initial site, and this is kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can start a pointer here. We started out considering three initial sites, what we called the Side Cut Park, the Kluwer Park, which is right here by the Conant Street Bridge, and then the Riverbend site, which is downstream. And these are all different than the Audubon project, the big Audubon project that's going on here at the island. So, but it should really complement what's happening there from a fishery and fish production standpoint. So we initiated that feasibility study back in 2021. A letter of intent was sent in by Steve Lee with the Maumee City Schools. And then we cobbled together funding through the Fishery Commission and Ohio DNR's H2 Ohio Fund to come up with some funding to match the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers federal funding. And that's a requirement of that program. You have to have 35% non-federal match to bring it along. So we were fortunate to come up with the $200K that covered at least the non-federal share, so it didn't cost any cash out of the coffers for the city of Maumee, but it cost time in, right? So there were some costs, but yeah. Now I can't advance. Let me
Just this once.
I'll return it, I promise. So just some background on that glypher feasibility study. The objectives really were to restore aquatic ecosystem and habitat quality in this stretch of the Maumee, which is so critical for producing economically and ecologically important species. The idea was to increase sort of shoreline complexity, reconnect the floodplain, create some off-channel wetlands that would serve as sort of refugia, especially for larval fish, larval walleye and white bass, and hopefully lake sturgeon down the road. The target was those three species, but obviously other species are going to benefit as well, and then serve as a living classroom for Maumee City schools. So these are the primary species that we're talking about. That walleye right there was caught right out the door here. It was a 37-inch walleye that was snagged, probably a state record, but It had to be returned because it was snagged, ginormous. So elements of the feasibility study that the Army Corps conducted through Gliffer, they do a really bang-up job on the study itself. It's extensive. They cover off on a ton of stuff, including like hydraulic and hydrologic analyses, threatened and endangered species, sediment quality, wetland delineation, archaeological survey, hazardous waste, radioactive, hazardous toxic radioactive waste, and a whole bunch of other things. So for that $200K, we felt like we got a pretty good product from them. It's still in the process of review through the Army Corps review process, which takes quite a while. But the actual restoration actions that we proposed were things like bank layback, where in essence you're kind of pulling that bank back a little bit to create some connected floodplain habitat, vernal pool creation for amphibians, adding some woody debris and some complexity in there to give it a little bit of habitat complexity for the critters that are using it, some gravel bar restoration, and then oxbow wetland recreation. So those are all elements that we considered within the feasibility study. And these are sort of renderings from what are in the feasibility study for each of those sites. Also had some public outreach. The NEPA scoping occurred in February 2024, which is the Environmental Protection Act. So all of that stuff has started through the feasibility study, which is super helpful because that means you can move into design and implementation with a whole bunch of the background information already done. Had a public meeting in July of 2024 up at the high school and solicited for public input there and incorporated that input into sort of the feasibility elements that we were exploring. And then had a virtual listening session in 2025. Had lots and lots of project team meetings that folks with the city have been great at contributing to. And then actually have moved through the Army Corps process, examining those 3 initial sites, whittled it down to 2 sites, the Kluwer Towpath and the Riverbend site as 2 to pursue through feasibility. So really good product. This is kind of a rendering of what the Riverbend site, proposed Riverbend site would look like, with essentially probably the biggest thing. This is where the oxbow would be created. Here's the existing ground level with the sort of red dashed line. So it would involve kind of excavating some material, creating that wetland habitat, and that would be a connected coastal wetland, so it would be periodically submerged, adding some plantings, and then redistributing that material back on site and contouring that. This is further downstream, that bank layback, what that would look like with some of the woody debris. So you can see the existing bank is pretty high here. There's not a lot of connected coastal wetland there, or connected floodplain anyhow. So the idea is to recreate some of this with also including some woody debris for habitat complexity, and then recreating some of the gravel bar habitat that would be phenomenal for additional spawning habitat for those species that I mentioned. This is one of the rendering, and this is all in the Army Corps feasibility study report. This is a rendering of the Riverbend site in its existing condition. One of the concerns that folks had up in the development were loss of view of the river system itself. And so they did some renderings to sort of try to understand what it might look like. And this is a rendering from sort of the amount of material that would be spread from that excavation, with an eye towards trying to minimize the impacts on viewshed and stuff like that while providing those ecological enhancements that we're talking about. So these are all great products that were provided by the Corps. So, but we've had some challenges. Army Corps does a really good job on feasibility work, and even any product that comes out the backside is phenomenal, but they're slow and they're expensive. That's sort of their motto. The original total, and don't repeat this, okay? It's probably on camera. They already know it. They tell me that. So their original cost estimates for the 2 sites that they did feasibility on came in at about $9 million total for the cost. That would have required to move forward with Gliffer, a $3 million non-federal cost share, which is pretty expensive. It was outside of the realm of kind of where we thought we wanted to go. And then the timeline on this, I mean, I think, what was it, 2029, 2030, something like that, for them to move all the way through the construction implementation. So we went back sort of to the drawing board and between the project partners tried to figure out maybe a new path here. We've been at the Fishery Commission working extensively with folks at the NOAA Restoration Center. They're providing significant chunks of GLRI to try to move projects forward to address fish production across the basin, and this is a prime project for that. We also rolled up our sleeves and went back in and did some independent cost estimation for the project, and really our best guess estimate based on what we knew about quantities, materials, those kinds of things, the total project cost came in at about $3 million. So that was very encouraging. I think we could get this project done without providing the $3 million non-federal cost share, and we can probably support the project without having to incur any cost at the city of Maumee for doing this. So what we're looking at through NOAA in particular doesn't require any non-federal cost share. They do like it, and I think the city of Maumee has been providing that kind of cost share already with all their expertise and input, but it's not required. So that's the path that we went down. Because there was so much support from the folks in the city, as well as the lake committees, the fisheries managers around Lake Erie for the project, the Great Lakes Fishery Commission committed about $250,000 to try to move design forward. So that's the first step. We've got a couple of sites. We've got concept level stuff we need to get in and actually start to turn the numbers on the design side of things. So we've got funding at the Fishery Commission that we're planning to provide to the city of Maumee to sort of get that design work done. We're using the city of Maumee's procurement process. So I've been working with Matt and Rick Gray on putting together an RFP. I think we're pretty close. I don't remember the dates on when that might hit the wire, but soon. Okay, all right. But we've got funding right now at the Fishery Commission, so we'll have to set up a contract to make sure that you all get the funds to get that done. And then the idea is to develop those two sites, and this is the Kluwer site right here, which is right next to Conant Street. It's a pretty small site, but I think there's tons of use there, and I think it'll provide not only broad benefits from a fishery standpoint, but also provide educational and also focal use for, focal for the general public. And then this is the Riverbend site here. These are those renderings again that we had. So we're hoping to move through and build out the design plans and should have funding in hand to get that design work done. We've got some flexibility on the Fishery Commission side, depending on where bids come in at, but we're pretty confident that we'll be able to help offset the costs on the design side. Construction funding, so that 250 is not going to cover the construction part, the $3 million. We've been working with our NOAA through our NOAA Regional Habitat Partnership folks, and we have tentatively secured for FY27 about $679,000 for going towards construction. That won't cover everything that we're proposing to do at both sites. It might chip one off, in particular the Kluwer Towpath Park site. 2028 funds are kind of uncertain, but we have requested $2.3 million for the Riverbend site and whatever's left over on the Kluwer Towpath Park site, but we can mix and match those funds. If it's a priority to get the Riverbend site done, then we can throw all the funds at that. So we've got a lot of flexibility in the NOAA Regional Partnership piece. And then there are other potential funding sources out there, like H2 Ohio has expressed some interest, particularly in the Riverbend site, and they see enormous value in that from a nutrient reduction standpoint. So that's kind of where we're at. There's some uncertainty here in the construction side of things, but I think once we get design done and kind of nail down what those cost estimates look like, it makes it so much easier to tap into some of these other funds because you can say this is what it's going to cost. So that was pretty much all I had. I wanted to open it up to you all for comments, thoughts, questions, concerns, or additional guidance.
Yeah, that started in 1955.
The Fishery Commission did. This project started in 2020.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. I know.
No, I knew that. Thank you. That's a long time
Yeah.
for it to be in.
Well, even 2021, it's taken a while to get through kind of the work that we've done, for sure.
Jeff, I have a number of questions, too many to address here, but can I get your contact information from Margot or Matt?
Yeah.
Maybe give you a call later in the week?
And I might have a card, but I can't guarantee it.
Yeah, same here. I might, but thanks.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for coming out and giving us that update. We're excited to get some more fish in the river.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And let me know if you all have any questions, or Matt can pass out my contact information and we can circle back up.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yep, thank you. Margot's been a rock star for us when she was on city council, and her perspective is awesome.
Hey, next we have Committee of the Whole. No,
Do we have any discussions about the agenda for tonight? Any questions or discussions? Dave?
All right. So I'd like to move that we enter executive session for contract negotiations and employment of a public official without leaving committee of the whole.
Let's second that.
let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy.
I have a question. So there are a couple of items that I wanted to discuss, I guess, at the committee of the whole. Am I going to be able to do that after the executive? Okay,
Yep, we're going to come right back into executive.
okay, yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back. Should be a short one, folks. No, just go right.
Thank you.
Can we get a motion to come out of executive?
Move we exit executive session, come back to the meeting?
I'll second that.
Okay, let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sun,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and proceed with committee of the
Okay,
whole.
anybody have anything they would like to discuss or talk about? Councilman Popplemeyer?
All right, so looking at new business, item B, ordinance 003-2026, regarding protecting the public water supply. I had a nice conversation with Matt this weekend. I've talked to Alan too. So it sounds like the purpose of this ordinance is to really make our commercial companies and properties make sure they're doing the right thing with preventing backflow, contaminating the water system and everything. But the way that the ordinance reads to me is we're still kind of lumping residential into that and kind of leaving the door open for more inspections and searches of residential property when I don't think we really need to. So Matt, would you mind kind of summarizing what you told me this weekend here about the residential?
Yeah, so as of right now, the EPA isn't enforcing any sort of backflow requirement for residential properties. I guess the one thing I will point out, like it says in the ordinance there, if the water superintendent, I guess, has a suspicion that there's a potential hazard to the water system, then obviously we have that right to mitigate that. But for the most part, it's just industrial and commercial properties that this would apply to.
Okay. And then Alan, what are your concerns?
Right, in conjunction with that, the Ohio Administrative Code requires that any public water service have and develop and implement a backflow prevention and cross-connection control program consistent with the other requirements of the Administrative Code. So they originally drafted or put this ordinance in place in 1982 as part of that. So the language I added into this as to being able to enter somebody's property is mainly just a legal requirement for constitutional reasons, that if you don't have that provision, somebody could challenge the whole ordinance and say it's unconstitutional that you don't have those provisions in there. I mean, if there's a concern, we could modify it to say for mandated inspections about the entry onto property. But right now, as indicated, the EPA is not enforcing against residential, but there could be circumstances where there may be a need to, inspect a residential property if there's a concern.
Okay. So when it comes to, like you mentioned, mandating commercial and industrial inspections, could we possibly add that to this ordinance so that, again, it doesn't look like we can just get the administrative warrant like there was a couple of years ago that a lot of people didn't like, and just, again, protect unneeded inspections if we can avoid it.
Right, we could add that language in probably the first part of paragraph D. Superintendent or duly authorized representative shall have the right for mandated inspections, or mandated EPA inspections, maybe.
Okay. I'd be good with that. Okay.
I agree, yeah. I have no problem with that.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance 003-2026 with what Alan said.
To amend paragraph D of ordinance 03-2026, right?
Yes.
I second that.
Let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sun,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay,
Anybody else have anything?
I had a couple of things on that I probably should direct to Mr. Griggs. On the red zone item, which is C, $149,950. The first question I have is that I noted on the document, the proposal, that the expiration date's November of '25. Is that going to be a problem?
It could be.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that before we sign off on it. I didn't catch that, so thank you for bringing that up.
Okay. And there was only one bid on the job, or there's no other no other company that does this type of thing?
Yeah, so this is a specialty inspection of our large 54-inch trunk sewer that was put in, I believe, in the 60s or 70s, and it's never been inspected. It's our main artery that takes all of the sanitary sewer out of town and takes it over to the treatment plant at Lucas County. So we had originally thought about trying to phase this inspection, but when we got this cost back, realized that I guess we thought it was going to be a much higher cost just based on our research that we had done. So we kind of would like to just see it all done at once because it just seemed to make sense versus doing it in chunks, which would essentially most likely cost more. So that was the reason behind it.
Okay, thank you. And then on the Helms and Sons, the change order, I'm troubled by the fact that it's almost $500,000, and there was just a change order in July of '25 for $692,000. With all the change orders that have been approved so far, well, if we include this one, that means the project has increased by 30% from 14 million to 18.8. I don't know that there's anything that can be done about that at this point. I guess I just wanted to, I don't know much about change orders or construction or anything like that, so I'm kind of educating myself as I can, and so please don't take this as an attack or anything like that. But I am highly troubled, and I do intend to look very closely at change orders in the future.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so this change order is kind of the final closeout change order for the large project. The work that's on there was done in 2024 or prior, and it was just kind of the last hurrah, if you will, to kind of get this thing closed out. I met with the contractor and the engineer and the electrical engineer several times over the last few months to make sure that this was it, that we have every little nook and cranny kind of buttoned up. And as far as I know, this will be it. So I don't intend to have anything like this in the future.
Okay.
Change orders are always a tricky process, and nobody likes to go through them unless it's.
Hey, Matt?
Yeah.
Thank you. I had a question, too. Was that water main part of that change order in this project, or was that prior?
It was.
So that's $2 million of the change order. And just to give the public a little idea about that, I think there's only one company that could do it, and they were here anyways.
So we tried to bid that water line project before the Uptown project, and we did not have any successful bidders that were within the 10% threshold. So prior to commencing the Conant Street work, we asked the contractor to give us proposal for the water line work, because that work would have had to have been done prior to the Uptown improvements, at least in the Harrison Street corridor.
So half of that $4 million was something that was done anyways, but since we didn't send it out for rebidding because there's a person here and only a person to do it, that's why half of that $4 million was done. So it's not like it wasn't a project that ran amok. It's just it got encompassed in the Uptown project versus broken out and redone in its own aspect, on its own project. We just included it in the Uptown. Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
And I think, Matt, wasn't there some other work that got done that wasn't originally part of the original project besides the water line, and issues that they ran into, like in the alley beside the Village Idiot, where they ran into a lot of different sewer issues that they had to correct?
Yeah, so
That
I mean,
weren't
a lot of the
really
change orders
anticipated.
that came up were because of unknown, I guess, interruptions, if you will, or, utility conflicts that we were unaware of prior to the project beginning, which is pretty common in most construction projects, especially when you're trying to go through an uptown area as old as Maumee. Everything in a change order is something was not a part of the original scope. So it's a tally of ongoing things that just kind of got added to the project.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilman Popmeyer.
Okay, so Matt, to follow up on the red zone robotics then, can we contact them and get an updated date on the proposal so that way
Yes.
everything is all nice and
Yep.
neat and everything?
I put a note right there.
All
I
right.
will make sure we do that.
So I would like to move to remove item C from the consent calendar.
What? Why?
Remove it or table it?
Well, hang on. Do we want to,
Do we need the,
For what?
I think they can still approve it.
so we can still approve it?
you can
Yeah.
still approve it,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
if they say, come back and say it's not valid, then we just don't enter into it and it comes back again.
That works out. Okay.
I have a question on the Helms change order too. You said most of this work was done in '24?
Yes.
Okay. And it was all, this went through the proper channels, was authorized at the time?
Right.
And what happens if we don't pay it?
Most likely we'll be in litigation,
Yeah. So then we end up paying it and our court costs and maybe theirs too.
and then some, yes.
Cool. And this is hopefully the very final,
This will be the last change order that I present for this project.
you're going to leave in the meantime? Yeah, so this was, this change order, it's things that happened in '24. It wasn't put together until now.
Yes.
And since this has gone through, we have revised our purchasing policies so that any of these change orders that are over that amount will be reviewed from now on, right?
Yep.
Okay. Great.
Anybody else? Then I think the committee of the whole is,
Councilman Pappenmeyer, did you want to withdraw that motion to
Oh,
remove?
Yes, I will withdraw my motion.
Okay.
with nothing else to discuss, we can end the committee of the whole meeting.
Okay. Do you need a motion to come out of committee of the whole?
I move. We come out of the
We did.
committee of the whole.
Okay, great. All right, next, we have some citizen comments. What? I've got one. Victor Coleman, coming to introduce himself from Toledo Edison.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just was stopping by tonight to introduce myself as your local engagement rep for Toledo Edison from First Energy. I work well with Matt to ensure that Toledo Edison is doing what they're supposed to do in your community. When we have challenges and things get held up, Matt knows how to get in touch with me, but I want to make sure you also know how to get in touch with me as well to help move things through smoothly and improve our relationship in Maumee, the Maumee community. So that's why I'm here. I do have a few business cards I can leave for everyone. Every once in a while, you'll see an email come from me updating you about power outages, because every now and again we get storms that come through and cause outages. I'll update you on where they are, if it's affecting your community, what those numbers look like, and what our restoration efforts look like in your community as well.
So,
Any
I
questions?
have a question.
Yes.
Are you like on the service end of Edison, or as in telephone poles, replacements,
Yes.
timber, they're falling
Trying to figure out how
down?
to answer that correctly.
Careful.
Yes. So I work with operations as a relationship. I don't work in operations.
Okay,
So if you have challenges with poles, let's say it's a leaning pole that hasn't been repaired, send it to me.
Yeah.
I work with
Great.
operations to have it inspected and see why it hasn't been replaced. Just the transparency. A lot of times these poles take time to replace because they're joint use, so we have to work with the other utilities to get them off the poles. For union agreements, we cannot touch their things and they can't touch ours. So
Thank you.
sometimes that holds things up. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll need a motion for the adoption of the agenda, pardon me? Adoption of the agenda as amended. Anybody?
I will move to adopt the agenda
We have
as amended.
Pardon me?
comments, citizens.
That was it? That's all I had? We just had the one?
Oh. Did you want to?
I guess I didn't, I thought I put my name on this.
Well,
I guess I don't.
Yep, you fill out these cards at the beginning,
Where are the cards?
right there. If you want to come up and talk, we'll allow. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Linda Lucas. I live on 422 West Broadway. I've been there for over 30 years. And you don't have to tell me when the walleye are coming because the fishermen show up before 7 o'clock because they can't start fishing until sunrise. And so they're always there. So there's no problem of letting them know when the fish are coming. My problem was that I would like just to say, we have always had problems parking during the height of the walleye season. And now we're going to have more problems because we're going to be having a festival during it that is going to be closing down the businesses. And I've read all the information because there's a lot of marketing out there already. So I know it's not going to change. But I would hope in the future when you do this, you would contact all the businesses. It's very easy. You can contact me. I work at the library. There's a database that the library pays dearly for it. It's available to anybody. You do have to have a library card to use it, and you can use it from home. But I identified 55 businesses that are in the path of the event that will be affected by it being closed down. I did not include the police department and all those, which are also in the same address. But I think that the thing is we should be contacting these businesses before it's a done deal. I mean, it's on Dave's website, so I know what's happening. That would have been helpful. Also letting residents know, because residents need to make sure they have a way to get in and out of their driveways when there's even more people coming. And then it's another way to show off the city of Maumee. And I would hope that we can get in touch with the landlord in the 600 block of West Wayne that has couches, 3 couches, a waiting pool in front of the house that have been there since before Halloween. And also some of the alleys that are in need of getting cleaned up. I just think before we open our city to all these people that are coming in, because now we're just not having fishermen, I don't think the fishermen care about the way the city looks. They just go down and fish. But I think it would be important to start talking to the businesses that are affected before it's announced. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, can we have a motion for the adoption of the agenda as amended?
I move we adopt the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Okay,
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Poppelmeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
great. Next, I'll need a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the regular minutes of the February 2nd, 2026 meeting.
Second.
Okay, let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Poppelmeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll need a motion to accept the petitions and communication. We don't need to read them in, we just need the motion.
I move to accept the petitions and communications as presented here in the agenda.
And I will second that.
Let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Poppelmeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, next we'll need a motion to approve the consent calendar items, and then we'll do a discussion.
I move to approve all consent calendar items.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I'll go through them all. Okay, A is a recommendation from the law director to authorize the mayor into the CHIP 2025-2027 agreement between Lucas County, Maumee, and Oregon. B is a recommendation from the mayor to authorize the mayor to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Toledo Metropolitan Area Council of Governments, now known as Lake Erie West Regional Council, to commit to pay $869.08 toward the 2026 Lake Erie Starts Here Northwest Ohio campaign to be a dues-paying member of TMCOG, again, now Lake Erie West Regional Council, and to remain current of Stormwater Coalition assessment payments. C is to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Red Zone Robotics in an amount not to exceed $149,950 for the multi-sensor inspection services of the 54-inch sanitary sewer trunk line. D is a recommendation to authorize the closing of the following streets during intermittent times for the annual Memorial Day Parade by the American Legion Post number 320. That's from White Street from Sackett Street to East John Street to Conant Street, and Conant Street to the War Memorial at Union School Park, where memorial service will be held on Monday, May 25th, 2026 at 9 a.m. E is recommendation from the Public Service Director to approve change order for number 23 for Helms Construction for the Maumee Uptown project in the amount of $446,006.70. Again, we hope it's the last one. Recommendation from the Law Director. Okay, I need to take a deep breath before this one. This is a motion authorizing the mayor to enter into any agreements necessary to provide for modification of the Fallen Timbers TIF agreement as amended between the parties to the amended TIF agreement and the prospective mall purchaser, and the compensation agreement between the city, Anthony Wayne School District, and Penta County Joint Vocational School District in order to reset the property values to the purchase price for the property, remove the minimum property valuation covenant, amend the use of TIF proceeds, adjust the compensation to the school districts, and provide for school district compensations and approvals for a new TIF on undeveloped property as applicable in connection with the sale of the Fallen Timbers Mall property. G is a recommendation from the mayor to approve the appointment of Fire Chief Brandon Lowiszewski and Deputy Chief Mike Potter to the State of Ohio Volunteers Firefighters Dependents Fund. H is a recommendation from the mayor to authorize the following road closures on April 11th, 2026 for the first annual Maumee River Fest. So it's 2 p.m. Conant Street will close between the trail and Wayne. The left turns onto West Wayne allowed until 3:45. 4 p.m. is the Wader Waddle, which is a 2-block sprint in full fishing waders. I hope to see you all there. 4:15 is a Walleye Run 5K. There will be road closures into effect. They are rolling opens and closes, so most of the streets will only be closed for about 20 minutes to a half an hour at the most. 4:30 is the Minnow Run, a free kid-friendly dash on Conant Street, and 5:15 the 5K concludes, and the roads that hadn't already been reopened will be reopened. I is a recommendation from the mayor that will authorize MUBA to host the Uptown Maumee Farmers Market on Wednesdays starting May 27th, 2026 to the end of September in the municipal building parking lot to be held from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. J is a recommendation from the mayor to authorize the closure of the following streets for the 2026 Music Fest and MUBA Family Picnic. 100 block of West Dudley and East Dudley, 100 block of West Wayne and East Wayne, Allen Street between Dudley and Wayne, and the 200 to 400 block of Conant at 12 p.m. on July 3rd, with the bridge closing at 7 p.m. for fireworks and an extension of the sound ordinance until midnight, with the roads opening by 1 a.m. K is a recommendation from the mayor to authorize the closure of the following streets for the 2026 Maumee Summer Fair: 100 block of West Dudley and East Dudley, the 100 block of West Wayne and East Wayne, Allen Street between Dudley and Wayne, and the 200 to 400 block of Conant on August 15th, with an extension of the sound ordinance until midnight, as well as an extension of Dora to 11 a.m. And that is the longest consent calendar that I have thus far read.
You think it's 11 a.m.?
I believe it's to start at 11 a.m.
Okay.
So it's an extension towards the beginning,
Okay.
because the vendors like to experience Dora as they set up for the summer fair.
All right.
Any discussion on any of those? No? All right, let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes,
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Bartsey,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have new business, the recommendation from the law director where we potentially approve the update of the council rules. Is there any discussion before we go through that?
Well, I move to approve the update of the council rules 2026.
I'll second Councilman Barrow's motion.
Okay, let's call the roll.
Then a discussion
Oh.
on that.
Okay.
I got an email, and I talked to a few different people, and there's mixed feelings about one of the criteria in the motion, or in the council rules, is break up the comments into two different sections. The first part of the meeting would be, come to the mic, things on the agenda, you would have to talk about specific items on the agenda. A lot of times people get up and they talk about things that aren't on the agenda. They talk about parking, or they'll talk about signs not lit, or telephone falling over. That was going to be the secondary part of the meeting. So the residents would sit through the entire business part of the meeting, and then after the business part is done, then we'll also hear about the complaints or the kudos, which always come too often and too many, about what we're doing up here. But I had mixed feelings about this. I thought, well, sure, let people talk in the beginning so they don't have to stay through the meeting, but a lot of answers, or a lot of issues are hammered out up here when we're having these discussions. So I was in favor of that part of it, where we keep it at the end of the meeting.
So to reiterate, there's, what we're talking about doing for councils, because we go back and forth on what's best, right? Comments at the beginning or comments at the end? And we thought doing an experiment to add 2 comment sections. So the first one, so that we could hear residents before we vote on something and hear something specific about the vote. And the one at the end would be to address anything that's not on the agenda. The idea being to be able to continue the conversation about any of the things not on the agenda, because so often they come up at the front of the business meeting, and then an hour later, it's easy to forget what it is. Now, I'm happy either way. I liked the idea of both because I like a lot of communications, but I'm happy to hear any other information. Any thoughts?
Well, Mayor, like you said, an experiment. And if it doesn't work, we can change it back.
I agree. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm willing to try it and see how it goes, see how it works. I too agree that a lot of when I was sitting observing a lot of the city council meetings, there were so many comments that came in during the citizen comment section that didn't necessarily pertain to the actual agenda. And by the time it was addressed at the end of the council meeting, most of the time people didn't even remember what necessarily had been brought up at that point, or there were certain parts of questions that might have been missed or something. And I think that I hope and I think that this will kind of allow us to maybe address some of those questions as well in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a try, and I think Alan mentioned a couple of weeks ago that it's fairly, I don't want to use the word easy, but it's pretty straightforward to change the council rules as needed. I mean, I suppose we could do them every month if we wanted to.
Please no.
But let's give it a try, and if it doesn't work, we'll change it back.
Yeah. Maybe once we hear from some citizens and see how they feel about it. And, but if we're good to go forward on it, then any other discussion on that topic? All right, let's call the roll.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Bartsey,
Yes.
Barrow.
Yes.
Next is item B.
You didn't have.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nah, you're fine.
Like this.
Right next to her.
All right, so for item B. Let's see. Is this where I propose the change? Okay.
I think you already did.
You already did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's already
should we officially, for the record, exactly say
already
what
on.
sentence we're changing and everything?
We need a motion first and second to discuss.
Right.
Yeah, do them.
Okay. All right, so I move to approve ordinance 003, 2026, an ordinance amending the modified.
First, we need the motion to waive.
Oh, gosh darn it, sorry. All right. Motion to waive 3 readings for ordinance 003, 2026.
And I'll second that.
Yuki,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppermeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
All right. And then I move to approve ordinance 003, 2026 as amended, an ordinance amending the Maumee Codified Ordinance Section 921.13, Public Water Supply Protected, Ordinance 47-1982, and penalty provisions of Section 921.99.
And I'll second that.
And just to reiterate before we vote on that, I wanted to add, the reason for wanting to waive is because this is something the water department is really struggling with, getting compliance from some of our commercial properties. They are supposed to do an annual report and inspection each year. They are not doing it. What that means is we have to send them several letters and then threaten them eventually to turn off their water. This just gives us another way to enforce compliance for those commercial properties. That's the biggest struggle right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion on that?
Dave wanted me to read the
Oh, go ahead.
provision.
Read the,
So the provision that's being amended would be 921.13 subsection D. The superintendent or is duly, it should say there. I'll change that too. Or their duly authorized representative shall have the right for mandated EPA inspections to enter at any reasonable time any property served by connection to the public water supply or distributing system of the city for purpose of inspecting the piping system or systems thereof.
any discussion? Let's call the roll.
Yuki,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppermeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Can I get a recommendation for item C?
I move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
I'll second.
Okay, call the roll.
Yuki,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppermeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
And I move to approve Resolution 004, 2026, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter in contract extension with Republic Services and the Lucas County Solid Waste Management District and declaring an emergency.
And I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on this, or anybody want to make a clarification of what we're signing?
Yes, please.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
This will make it so that we can extend for another 5 years. We will get a bulk pickup, and right now we will not be increasing any fees. Right now, Maumee residents do not pay any extra fees or charges towards their refuse pickup or recycling. We're going to keep it that way and add a bulk pickup. We might have to revisit our prices again in another year or two, but right now, that's what's happening.
And that comes with a 4% year increase?
It's a 4% yearly increase,
And is that one bulk pickup a year?
one bulk pickup a year.
Thank you.
We'll have to eventually come with figure out a date for that, and I expect that to be a Royal Rumble of a town hall. Bring your boxing gloves.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is the bulk pickup going to be restricted, or is it going to be like an unlimited bulk pickup?
It'll be somewhat restricted. The terms are in the agreement. Alan, do you have it there? You want to read it?
Right, it's listed in the resolution. It's, the bulk pickup will include household rubbish and garbage cans or cans of less than 40 pounds per bag or can, furniture, appliances, televisions, mattresses, box springs, bicycles, carpet, where the rolls are less than 4 feet wide and 18 inches in diameter, rolled and tied or taped, wood that's no longer than 4 feet in length and tied in 40-pound bundles. All nails, screws must be removed or pounded down. Appliances with Freon, such as refrigerators, freezers, air conditioning units, Dehumidifiers must have certification that Freon's been removed. The pickup does not include green yard waste. The pickup does not include loose construction debris.
So somewhat limited in that you want to keep it below 40 pounds. You want to keep your sections of wood and stuff below 4 feet, and things that you're not legally supposed to dispose of, you can't.
And I think they're going to do it in 2 collections.
And they'll do 2 collection periods?
Well,
Something like that. Zones, okay. So there might be 2 different days depending on where you happen to live in Maumee.
Other than that, I'm sure it will be on our website,
Yes.
all those, what you can put, what you can't put on it for collection. Thank you.
And I'll add that we're still going to have stickers available, right?
Yes, you can still do stickers if you want to get rid of something right away.
Like the couches at 600 West Wayne.
And so do you want to start a collection? We are working on that, by the way.
I'll chip in for one.
Yeah, we could do a council collection, buy some stickers. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, let's call the roll.
Yugi,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Popplemeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, recommendation, D is a recommendation from the Finance Director. This is the first reading of the 2026 budget. And a recommendation to refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee as well as the Employee and Community Relations Committee for review. Can we get a motion before we discuss?
So moved.
I second.
Let's call the roll.
Yugi,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Popplemeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Bartsy,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Any discussion on that?
I'll add something that if, because it's going to be a very big process and we want to make sure we get all our ducks in a row for this finance stuff, that if you have any inclination or whatever of what's on there, please come to these meetings and be present so that you know that we're not trying to hide anything or we get accused later on. This has given us plenty of time to go to these meetings in the next, when's the budget due?
March 31st, but I think we intend to meet next week with the Finance Committee.
Right, right. So when these times are posted for these meetings, please show up. That's what they're there for.
And this is, we intend to do the full 3 readings as well as talk about it at committee, so there'll be plenty of time for public scrutiny and comments. We have seen a little bit of a preview of OpenGov, which is pretty cool. We get to see things by line item, and it helps us filter and really take a deeper look, and we'll be discussing that more at some committees. Okay, let's call a roll. What?
We already did.
Oh, my gosh. It's been a long day.
That's me.
All right, then we're going to go on to mayor and council comments. I will start. Couple of things first. So with the Riverfest, and that was something we were still in the planning phases with. It did come into fruition quickly. We are working with the chamber and MOVA to get business and resident notifications out to everyone, which is good. And just to address the issue with some of the items being left on the streets, that is something we are working on and taking seriously. It just takes a little bit of time to get it done. I don't have an update on it right now, but keep asking and we'll keep going at it. Riverfest should be pretty cool. Like I said, some of those streets where we were doing the race, some of them will only be closed for 15 or 20 minutes. Nothing should be closed longer than an hour except for that one stretch should cone it, but you will be able to turn either way. We also made sure to adjust the route so that it doesn't block Ford Street so that everybody can get in and out where they need to go. It'll be a lot of fun. I think we also have, I think I mentioned last time, ZZ Top cover band named Thunderbeard. We'll have some food trucks.
Great.
We'll have all sorts of fun stuff. I do expect to see several of you wearing waders and running because that will just make my heart happy. Some other things I did want to talk about that isn't as fun. We've had a pretty rough week and a half in the city of Maumee for, we've had some people in the city pass away recently. One of them was Gary Tipping, who was on our Municipal Planning Commission for several years, just stepped down last year. He just passed on February 7th. We also had, if you know Tommy Rista, who is our Planning Commission chairperson, his wife just recently passed away as well on February 13th. And Judge Alfonso Jess Gonzalez, who is a visiting judge in Maumee, just passed away as well on the 9th. So it was a pretty quick succession of people who've been very involved in the city of Maumee. So I did want to acknowledge them and their service to the city of Maumee before we moved on. Thank you. Who do we have next? Councilman Hugie?
Sure. First of all, I just want to congratulate the 5 new officers that we welcomed to our police force today. Look forward to them being able to take part in our community and introduce themselves to us. On the fishery presentation this evening, I had learned quite a bit personally about the lake and more the river. You know, obviously in the last 12 years, we've learned a lot about the difference or the impact that the lake and the river can have on our area. I will say with the change order that was discussed tonight, I was very shocked at seeing that presented to us again, and it did bring back memories of last summer and last fall. I did have a good conversation with Mr. Griggs as to why it was being presented to us at this point. It does show the importance of why we need to look at a lot of the processes that we've had in place and make sure that things like that don't fall through the cracks again. Personally, I was disappointed to see that particular change order. Finally, I wasn't aware of the passings that you just mentioned, so on my behalf, I'd like to pass my condolences on to those families. Thank you.
Councilman Kurt?
Thank you. I can't see in the corner there. I don't know if any of the police officers the new police officers are here, but I want to assure them, I'm not acquainted with your direct supervisors, but I do know that your ultimate boss, Chief Sproul, we got a good one there, and you should be fortunate that he's your chief or your ultimate, I guess, commander or boss or whatever they call that. But congratulations to you if you're here, and even if you're not, congratulations. I mentioned earlier during the fisheries discussion, I want to give Jeff Tyson a call sometime this week, just to see what his thoughts are, or if he has any thoughts, or if the group he works with has any thoughts on possible contamination of the river and particularly Lake Erie or the Maumee River from any of these data center proposals. So I'll do that, and I think that is all I have. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay.
Is it Madam Mayor now? Is it official yet?
Oh, yeah, you don't have to call me Mr. Mayor anymore.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
No.
I'll accept it. Councilman Peppelmeyer.
All right, so I apologize in advance. I'm going to talk a couple minutes here. It will not be a habit of mine, don't you worry. But no, this week, as we started to review budgets and everything, so there's items in there for the continued development of Epstein Park. And I was just thinking, so who was Edward J. Epstein? If you look on Google, it says that's the whole name of the park. I just want to read a little quick blurb of what Grok told me in about 2.5 seconds, which is amazing. So Edward J. Epstein, often referred to as Ed Epstein or Ebby Epstein, was a local businessman and key figure in the development of the Arrowhead Business Park in Maumee, Ohio. He is widely regarded as the driving force behind the creation and success of Arrowhead Park, which began development in the 1970s. Epstein founded the Webb Brand Corporation and played a major role in planning the business park, attracting tenants such as securing Hickory Farms of Ohio as its first major tenant, with a $2.5 million office and distribution facility, maintaining high-quality standards and collaborating with the city of Maumee on zoning and other aspects. He is credited with coming up with the Arrowhead name, reflecting the site's Native American history, and pushing for the city involvement to ensure its success. So, yeah, it sounds like he was very instrumental in establishing what we benefit from as Arrowhead Park. However, he shares a very unfortunate pronounced name in Epstein. Well, unfortunately, I'm being very serious. We've been hearing over the last few months what a monster that Jeffrey Epstein was. And unfortunately, when you say Epstein Park in Maumee, I don't think that creates a warm, fuzzy feeling for potential businesses to move into Arrowhead, right? And again, it is nothing against Edward Epstein. He sounds like he was a phenomenal name, or phenomenal man. But what I'm going to be recommending in the Building, Lands, and Recreation Committee is the potential renaming of Epstein Park. I would like Ebby Park to still honor, Edward Epstein. But again, it's just times change, and this is a change I feel we as a city of Maumee have to make. And we'll end on that nice heavy note, but congratulations to everybody again.
Council President Sun.
I would like to, again, congratulate the new officers that we have, much needed. Also condolences to the families that did lose loved ones. And a little plug, I am the chair of the Public and Employee Relations Committee, and we will be meeting for the first time Thursday at 3:30 to 4:30. Residents, you are more than welcome to come, ask questions, hopefully get answers. And that's all I have.
Councilwoman Bartzy.
Congratulations and condolences.
Thank you. Councilman Barrow.
Got it. Congratulations again to Officer Luke, Haley, Olivia, Sydney, and Evelyn. Being in law enforcement, it really demands a lot of the person, the family, the spouses, the children. You're always not so far in the back of your mind thinking about your kids out there doing a job that's hard to do, and everything, you're being watched 24/7. They're fortunate they have Chief Prow at the helm running things. And I can tell you, to become a policeman in Maumee, they're very picky, and they do a lot of detailed research. A lot of investigative goes in before this person's selected to even begin in the training program. And Maumee has a DARE program. They have Shop with Cops. Is burgers and badges still a thing, Josh? Yep, and I remember when my son was on the force here, it was a picture of them sledding with the kids, So they really stay involved in the community, and in the schools, they have a policeman in the schools, and the kids are used to seeing a policeman. They go to them for help and aid, if need be. They're not afraid to approach our officers. So good job, and congratulations and welcome. Thank you.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'll do follow suit. Congrats to the police officers. It was pretty tough for them to look at us for about 2 or 3 minutes. Oh, Josh rattled off everything. I think I seen one of them just start staring at pick a spot. But it's great that Josh, we get the more officers that we needed. And it's not fun being back in Maumee because I was having fun 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, down in Mexico. But it's nice to come back. But other than that, and the condolences for the ones that have passed. Yeah, and I'll reiterate again, please come to these meetings. Usually, even if I'm not like part of a committee or whatever, I'm still going to these meetings, the ones that I'm not even on. So, and usually I'm one of 4 people, or the only person. In the last couple of years, I was the only person going. So please come to these meetings. More involvement is what we need to bring back our city to where we want it to be. Thank you.
I get a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Second, third, fourth.
Yuki,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Poppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sun,
Yes.
Bartsey,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Before 8 o'clock, that's weird.
We did it.
With all the shit we were doing.
Jump in my cold thing.
Executive session.